Right. So we're diving deep today.
Deep.
Into a cultural practice.
Yeah.
That's pretty complex. Honoring a rain goddess.
Rain goddess, yeah.
We've got excerpts. We've got articles.
We do.
And we're going to unpack the story of the goddess.
Of the goddess.
Unkumbullwane.
Unkulunkulu.
Unkumbullwane. Big name.
It is a big name. And her revived festival.
Right.
A story that touches on tradition, cultural clashes, and even global health concerns.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is amazing, yeah.
How one seemingly simple celebration can open up so many layers.
Layers upon layers.
Discussion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's start with the goddess herself.
Okay, sure.
Who is this Unkumbullwane?
So Unkumbullwane,
Okay.
she is revered as the goddess of rain,
Okay.
which, in itself makes her incredibly important
Right.
in a region that often faces drought.
Of course.
But she's more than just...
A rain goddess. She's also deeply connected to nature and, importantly, fertility.
That connection to fertility
Yes,
really piques my curiosity.
I bet.
It feels like it's going to be important
It will be, yeah.
to the story of this festival.
It really will.
Wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But to understand why,
Right.
we need to take a step back
Okay.
and look at the festival's history.
Right.
It's not a new phenomenon.
Right.
Sources tell us that it was celebrated over 200 years ago,
Wow.
but gradually
Yeah.
faded with the arrival of Christianity.
That's a pattern
Yes.
we see repeated around the world.
It is, isn't it?
The arrival of new belief systems often leads to the suppression
Yeah.
of older traditions.
Precisely. What's particularly interesting here is that
Yeah.
while Unkumbullwane's worship
Right.
declined,
Okay.
the male deity, Unkulunkulu, the supreme creator
Right.
in the traditional belief system,
Okay.
continued to hold a prominent place.
Interesting.
Makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
How the marginalization
Right.
of female deities
Yeah.
might have contributed
Right.
to the festival's disappearance.
Right.
And how its revival might be challenging.
Challenging.
Yeah, with those old power structures.
That's a great point. It speaks to
Yeah.
the larger conversation about gender dynamics within cultural practices.
Absolutely.
Now, how did this festival come back to life
Ooh,
after all this time?
that's a good question.
Yeah.
With a complex answer.
Okay.
While the sources don't offer a definitive
Right.
explanation,
Okay.
we can speculate
Yeah,
based
yeah.
on the context. A sense of cultural pride
Yeah.
likely plays a role,
Okay.
as does the very real need for rain in a region grappling with drought.
Of course.
The timing of the revival
Yeah.
during a period of drought
Yeah.
can't be a mere coincidence.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
it's as if the community turned back
Yeah.
to its ancient traditions, seeking solace and solutions
Right.
to contemporary issues.
It makes you think about how cultural practices
Yes.
evolve and adapt.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
of course, this revival hasn't been without
Yeah.
its share of controversy.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
A core element of the traditional festival was the participation of virgin maidens.
Right.
And with the revival,
Yeah.
the practice of virginity testing
Right.
has resurfaced,
Right.
leading to a clash between traditional values and modern viewpoints.
The practice of virginity testing
Yes,
is a sensitive subject.
it is.
Can you shed some light
Sure.
on its historical and cultural context?
Okay.
Virginity testing, while controversial today, is not unique to this specific culture.
Okay.
It has existed in various forms across the globe,
Right.
often tied to beliefs about purity,
Okay.
spiritual power, and social control. For example,
Yeah.
in some ancient societies,
Right.
a bride's virginity was seen as a sign of family honor and a prerequisite for marriage.
It's intriguing how something so deeply rooted in tradition can spark debate
Yes.
in a modern context. Where do the main points of contention lie?
Well, on one side, we have traditional healers,
Right.
known as sangomas,
Okay.
and others who view virginity testing
Right.
as integral to the festival and by extension to their cultural heritage.
Okay.
They argued that it's about preserving traditions that connect them to their ancestors
Right.
and ensure the efficacy of the rituals.
And on the other side, groups like the Commission on Gender Equality and the Midlands Women's Group
Right.
strongly oppose the practice,
Okay.
viewing it as a violation of women's rights and bodily autonomy.
Right.
They argue that it perpetuates harmful gender stereotypes
Okay.
and puts young women at risk.
It's a complex dilemma
It is.
with no easy answers.
Definitely not.
How do you see?
Well, it's hard to say for sure,
Yeah.
but it highlights the challenges
Right.
societies face
Yeah.
in balancing respect for tradition
Right.
with evolving social norms. The question becomes,
Okay.
can there be a way to honor cultural heritage
Right.
while also safeguarding individual rights?
It's a question worth pondering
It is.
for all of us, especially when we consider
Yeah.
the additional layer of complexity added by the HIV/AIDS crisis.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
South Africa, unfortunately,
Right.
has a high HIV prevalence rate.
Right.
And practices like virginity testing, if not conducted safely,
Of course.
can potentially increase
Right.
the risk of transmission.
So we've journeyed
We have.
from the story of a rain goddess
Yes.
to a cultural clash to a public health concern, all stemming from
Yeah.
one revived festival.
Yes.
It's a reminder that tradition is
Yeah.
often intertwined with
It's
contemporary challenges,
yes, it is.
forcing us to consider how to move forward
Right.
in a way that respects
For
both
both. Yeah.
the past and the present.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It prompts us to ask ourselves,
Yeah.
how do we navigate the complexities
Right.
of tradition and modernity
Yeah.
in our own lives?
Right.
What values do we prioritize, and how do we find a balance that respects both
Both, yeah.
cultural heritage and individual well-being?
Lots to think about.
It is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.